I mean, they were trash. I mean, he chewed them like chewing gum.
Did you get new ones?
So Baylor received a graduation gift, a new computer. He received an Apple gift card for a graduation gift.
Okay.
To get like a computer for school and like all the stuff. And he ordered, like he had money left and ordered new AirPod Pros, the new version. So I got his old ones.
Okay.
So now I have hand-me-down Baylor's AirPods.
Oh, those are still fine.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. Haley told me if I, however, she was like a mom. She told me if I lose and or destroy these, that I can no longer have AirPods. I'm going to at least have to switch brands.
Yeah. You're just going to go through the $30 pairs.
Yeah.
Instead of the $200 pairs.
I mean, the first pair was my fault. It's easy to do, to like put them in your. I've talked to other people that have done the same thing. You put them in your running shorts or workout shorts, and then you wash your shorts.
I've washed mine, but they still work.
Mine. So I had a pair work after one wash, but I did it again.
And then they went compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were bad.
Mine don't operate the same way after that one wash. There's
kind of static.
There's something funky going on. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But they
stuff is pretty like waterproof and
very
dust
waterproof.
proof.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like just the wash or it's the wash and
the dryer.
Dry.
Yeah, maybe.
Do y'all find that? Well, Chad, do you find that your kids will take? Did you have any kids that just take your AirPods and they go missing?
No. Because I've been without AirPods. I've been rocking like the cord.
Oh, okay. Because my daughter, she, for whatever reason, if she's watching this,
Does she have some though?
she has some, but she never keeps them charged. So she knows where mom and dad puts their AirPods.
Then she just jacks.
She knows dad's always going to keep his charged. So I'm like, where's my damn AirPods? I can't find them. I go up to her room and they're there. You know,
You can make them like chirp, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's another one of the. That's like the. I'm sure that we're back.
Will,
Matt,
do you steal your dad's AirPods or do you take your family's?
It's not that hard to keep them charged.
right?
I literally charge them like once every 2 weeks.
Will's like, I'm responsible. I don't wash my AirPods. The dog doesn't eat my AirPods.
I washed like 10 chapsticks though in the past year.
Man, that's bad
terrible.
news too. Though, like I'm a chapstick guy, and Haley gets on to me for this. I'm pretty notorious about leaving my chapstick in my pocket.
Yeah.
Washing is fine, but if that chapstick ends up in the dryer, it melts it, and then it will it'll oil stain.
Yeah.
Yeah, your laundry again.
Yeah, then you got to do laundry, and like sometimes, like depending on the material of the clothes, you've pretty much got a chapstick spot forever, and it's like just like almost like just an oil spot. But I do that too.
Well,
I'm bad about leaving things in my pockets. That's why I do that. I don't know if you said that. That's why I do this. I'm trying to be better about like emptying my things.
I'm good with taking stuff out of my pockets before I wash. My wife, on the other hand, she's not, but I do my own laundry, so I make sure that my stuff's taken out.
Just your laundry? You don't like participate in everyone's laundry? It's
I
just your laundry.
I only do mine.
What?
We do our own laundry at our house.
Yeah.
Like Matt washes Matt's, Erica washes Erica's.
Yeah.
I don't let anybody touch my laundry. Like,
And then we
I
share
do my own laundry.
towels or whatever the.
Really?
Yes. This goes way back with me and my wife. Like I'm particular
Did
about.
she ruin something?
I'm particular about my laundry.
Tell me more, Jason.
Well, she like when I wash clothes, I put them in and I want to take them immediately out of the washer, put them in the dryer, and get them immediately out of the dryer so they don't wrinkle and all those things, right?
I feel like I should have married Jason.
It's not too late.
So my wife, she'll put them
move to
in,
Utah,
she'll leave them
though.
there forever. They'll get wrinkled, and then finally put them in the dryer, and they just stay in the dryer for a day.
Me and Haley are Stephanie.
Okay.
Both of us are Stephanie.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who does your
Yeah,
laundry.
like we are.
I am very particular about my laundry, so that's why I do my own laundry. I want them done a certain way, in and out.
So you're like
put up.
So you're like immediately out of the dryer
Oh yeah.
fold it.
I'm sitting there waiting.
Hang
Like
it.
I know when they're about to be done and I'm getting them out right then and there.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed. I've learned something new about Jason because that's not how it happens at our house.
Yeah. Well, no, most households are like the norm of, hey, they're going through the cycle, like refreshing.
Yeah, we're
and all
we're I would say we're really good at like putting the laundry in the wash and in the dry and then into laundry baskets.
Yeah.
Once it gets to the laundry basket, we're
Yeah. Like a day later.
There's
fold
not
them
a
up or
there's not
something.
a person that lives in our house that's good at consistent. Haley's the best, but there's not like a, hey, I'm good at getting this
Yeah.
to the fold or hang stage.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. We could have a whole episode about laundry.
laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, but before we leave laundry,
Uh-huh.
what kind of, I want to know like the detergent that you use, because this was a conversation we had last night. Are you
So I like Tide.
like OG original?
Yeah,
Tide?
original Tide. That's
Okay.
my preference.
Matt.
We use the Costco free and no scent.
No
no
scent.
dyes.
Okay.
I'll use that too.
Will, do you know?
Whatever's at
Care?
Costco. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't want Haley, me or Haley, neither one of us want like scented laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fabric softener or a dryer sheet guy?
I use dryer sheets.
Those are so
and
bad for
and
you.
Yeah, I
fabric
don't-
softener
So
both.
bad for
I
you.
don't use either one of those either.
You got all those chemicals rubbing
Yeah.
all over your body.
I use them both. Well, let's get started. Episode 26. I'm pumped about this one, guys.
26.
It's all about Nashville today. We're talking about a weekend in Nashville, what to do if you come to Nashville for the first time, or if you're a local and you just want to, go to Nashville. You haven't been downtown in a while. You're wondering what to do, right? Me and Chad were talking earlier. If him or I went downtown and walked a 5-block radius, we'd probably see 20 new things in Nashville.
Yeah,
that we didn't
especially
know that was
since
there.
the last time we were downtown.
Yeah, 100%. So today's all about Nashville. The NexGen Podcast, we're a Nashville-based podcast. We're all things Nashville. So get all your new current information from us. Tune in. Let us know what you think, right?
Yeah, and we're not saying it's right. We're
Or
just saying,
comprehensive.
like we're just saying like this is our.
Yeah, we live
Yeah.
here, right? We
live here.
live here. We know people that are going downtown all the time. If we're not, we hear of things. So, yeah, tune in, check us out, comment, let us know what you're interested in seeing in Nashville.
Yeah.
I think all of us are from Nashville originally, except for Matt, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt's from
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Shout
So,
out to Shaw.
so you moved to Nashville 5, 6, 7 years ago, right?
2019, March 2019.
So your first impression of Nashville when you came here, you probably visited here before you moved here.
I had my best friend growing up, actually from kindergarten, moved here for college.
Okay.
And I would come visit him all the time, and then I just fell in love with Nashville.
Yeah.
And was like, it's time for a change. He let me crash with him for 3 months while I figured out where I wanted to be. It just kind of made it really easy to get here and figure it out. When I moved here, the stat was 100 people a day
Were
were
moving
moving
to
to
town.
Nashville.
Yeah. I don't know if it still is. I wonder if it is.
Did you go to Vandy?
He went to MTSU.
Oh, okay.
He's in like video production, lighting, things like that.
So close.
So when you say you fell in love with Nashville, what was it? I'm assuming that was probably 2018 or so.
Yeah, like 2015, I think, was the first
First
time
time
I
you came.
spent here. I love the outdoors. There was just so much to do here. We went to Percy Priest, we were kayaking, we did the cliff diving thing, and it
Yeah.
was just great outdoors, and then just different scenery, different weather.
A little warmer, a little longer.
warmer, less snow,
Yeah.
different kinds of snow.
Yeah.
I guess now.
Yeah. Well, I think Nashville brings that energy and vibe of the culture that it has downtown, right? The music scene, the bars, the restaurants.
Yeah.
But if you skip outside of Nashville 20, 30, 40 miles, right, you got all this wildlife and parks, right?
Yeah.
Scenery that, yes, there's other places of the country that are beautiful, from an outdoor perspective, but can you get those outdoors and then have the same vibe of a city like Nashville
Yeah.
within driving distance?
There's such an energy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much life to this city.
I think Tennessee in general is it's a very diverse landscape. A lot of people don't, think of, I know Nashville and maybe the hour radius around Nashville, but the state of Tennessee is a very diverse landscape. I mean, from the Appalachian Mountains in the eastern part of the state to the Mississippi Delta,
The flatlands.
in the western part of the state, it's a complete opposite. There's some other states in the South that are similar in diversity, but it's pretty unique.
Yeah, there's no other, I guess when you think of it in those terms, there's no other state that stretches from the Appalachian Mountains to the Mississippi,
No,
right? Tennessee's the only state that does that.
Tennessee touches something like 8 different states too.
Yeah.
It's the only state like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Chad and myself are a little older than Matt and Will here, so we reminisce from time to time about old Nashville,
Old
right?
Nashville. Yeah.
And I don't know, people around our age, 40s, late 30s, they probably will say from time to time how they miss old Nashville.
Yeah, if you somewhat grew up here, right? Like if you're late teenage or your teenage years to your, to how old we are now, there's Jason and I, there's a lot of people that we went to even high school with that still live close. Mm-hmm. And it's a different vibe. It's a way different vibe compared to what it used to be.
Not to minimize what you guys are saying, but even the 6 years I've been here, it feels so different.
Different. Yeah.
What does it feel different for you? Just more people, more stuff downtown, or more traffic?
I heard somebody say it's like the Eastern LA now. And it does feel very Eastern LA. We get, we'll talk about it later, New York restaurants, LA restaurants are coming here.
Yeah.
It's becoming an entertainment hub. And if you want to be in the business of music or otherwise,
You better be here.
you come in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I've said that before, but yeah, I do think Nashville is the new Eastern LA. I really do. I mean, the music. You think of course I didn't live back then and experience it, but you think of Los Angeles, right? The film industry, what it became, and
In the 80s.
well, even the mid 1900s, right, or early 1900s,
for
right,
sure.
going way back,
Yeah.
where the studios first started out there. You got to feel like Nashville's kind of that same vibe because the evolution of the country music scene and what it's going through right now, right, where you don't see rock artists anymore. Everybody is a country artist.
Yeah.
And you look at all the Billboard top hits and everything, it's country.
It's Morgan Wallen.
It's Morgan Wallen, right? 3 different songs in the top 10.
Yeah, I think it was 10 of the top 10 at some
Or
point.
Post Malone doing country music. Or Beyonce doing country music.
Yeah.
I think in Apple Music right now, it was something weird. At one point, like this week, it was all of the top 10 was Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, on his new album of 40
Yeah, and
songs
it's not
or
the
whatever.
country chart. It was the all music Apple Music chart was Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, that's incredible. But
Yeah.
but yes, I think is the film industry still vibrant? Yes, but films kind of transition to now, Georgia's getting a lot of the film stuff, right? Canada. I mean, LA isn't probably what it used to be. There's things that are getting outsourced. But when it comes to music, Nashville is still music city, right?
We're getting a new TV show shot here at 911 Nashville or something
really?
like that. No, I saw
Like a Grey's Anatomy type show?
like those Chicago Fire,
Oh, okay.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you wasn't while I was here, but you had a show called Nashville.
Yeah.
Like
Which
was
I
that
think-
before? That was before you came to town?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that you hear a lot of that. A lot of folks blame part of the Nashville boom on that show.
And
Like
East Nashville too, because that's where a lot of the people lived in the show.
Like the
East
popularity of Nashville, there's a lot of people that are like, "Damn that show."
Is it bad that I've never seen it?
No,
I've never watched it.
No, it's not. It's not.
It
I
was
have friends
it was
that worked on that show.
It was like a
never
Channel
watched
5 show, right? Like a regular network show.
Yeah, it was a network show.
Yeah.
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 So, Chad, thinking of old Nashville, right? Give me what do you think of when you hear old Nashville? What's some of your fondest places and memories?
Opryland.
Opryland? Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like-
So someone that's new to Nashville that didn't grow up here, Matt, or the Philadelphian or New York guy that just moved here, what was Opryland like?
Man, Opryland to me was like, and I'm not a big theme park guy. Like the theme park is not, but man, I have so much, maybe it's just nostalgia. What was Opryland that great? I don't know. But it's like, I can remember, our early high school years or late middle school, early high school years. Your mom or your friend's mom or dad would drop you off at the gate at Opryland and be like, okay, we'll pick you up at 8,
Yeah.
and you were dropped off at Opryland to just free range for the whole day. And it was like, just some really cool rides, and I don't know that the rides were that great. Were the rides revolutionary? No, I don't necessarily think
Probably
so, but
not.
it was probably not, but it was a small enough theme park. I think it's quite a bit smaller than Dollywood now, what Dollywood would be in East Tennessee, but it was like, I can just remember it was always shaded, right? Like it was never, even in the heat of the summer, like it was, I can remember big trees, like going to the rides. I don't ever remember the lines, just like Disney World type lines. And I just think back to, high school, like middle school, high school time. Like that was one of the things we did. And it's probably, now it's a shopping mall.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
It was flooded, right? Is that what?
The mall was
no.
flooded.
The mall got flooded.
After the mall,
Yeah.
in 2011 or 2010, the mall flooded, but Opryland was long and gone.
Opryland had been gone
since early 2000s.
early
probably.
2000s. Yeah, I mean, people can. That's why I think Will usually has his computer up to fact check me. And Matt's got one. But that's one of the things that I remember, man. It's like,
Yeah.
that was not. You almost wish we still had something like that, but then I think
December 31st, 1997 is when it closed.
97 it closed.
Okay.
So it closed before we graduated high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that, Chad. I can think back to when I was 12, 13, 14, 15. I would go for birthdays, or we would just get dropped off with a
Yeah.
buddy or two.
Yeah.
And we would be at the park all day.
All day.
Wabash, Cannonball, Chaos, the
Yes.
swings. I even have fond memories back to when they had the little pitching gauge meter. Remember that?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you could get the helmets?
Yeah.
If you guessed your pitching
If you
speed.
get your speed, yeah.
Remember that?
It was kind of, I don't want to say carnival-like because it wasn't like a carnival, but it was like a miniature version of Dollywood. For anybody that's been at Dollywood, if you don't remember.
I liked it. I've been to Dollywood several times, and I liked Opryland better than Dollyland or Dollywood.
Yeah, I can say, for a preteen or teen guy, Chaos, getting to ride Chaos with your lady.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about? It was a 2-seater ride, Matt. And the guy used to get to sit, and she like kind of sit in your lap area. Maybe that's why I like Opryland so much.
Yeah, and it was one of those kind of rides too, where it was you're keeping your lady safe. You know,
Yeah,
'cause
it's in the dark.
It's in the
you know,
dark.
It's like
you know, and
ominous
Yeah, it was
music.
real dangerous, I'm sure.
It was so dangerous, Matt. Like you were, 14 years old, and you got to ride Chaos. You were doing something, man.
And it was just a fun ride. It went circle like 3 or 4 times, and
It kind of space, like I would tell you, if you've ever ridden Space Mountain,
Space
like
Mountain.
that
Yeah.
would be it was the Nashville version of Space Mountain.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that one of the things that
I think all the locals miss Opryland very much. We need a theme park like that. Dolly, if you're listening, bring us Dolly Nashville or whatever you want to call it, we'll take it.
Yeah,
We
I
want
would,
it.
but I will say, like, we took the kids a few years ago, like I guess maybe 21, 22 to Dollywood, and Dollywood was really good. Like I had like a good experience at Dollywood for a theme park. It wasn't like crazy lines or anything like that. So
It is a great experience, but why Nashville is top 3 tourist destination in America? Why do we not have a theme park?
I don't know.
Anymore.
I don't know.
Broadway is the theme park.
Yeah, Broadway's a theme
I know,
park.
but to that point, okay,
Same amount of people puking.
if you're coming to Nashville, you're coming to Nashville most of the time as a party town, right? You're coming here to spend time downtown, right? Hit up the bars, the live music scene. But what are you going to do if you're coming as a family? It's not a family type
It's
town.
that's one of the things that I don't want to say you worry about, but it's like, is it the right? It's not the right environment. I mean,
It's
Haley
like going
and
to Vegas.
Yeah, it's so much like going to Vegas. I mean, is it a good thing or a bad? I don't know, right? Like it's not I don't know that it's my place. But Emma did like a dance thing for a commercial a couple years ago, and it was filmed at I don't know, like at Fifth and Broad downtown, which is I think it's kind of a cool addition to downtown. But it was filmed there, and it's early in the morning. I think it was before everything opened. So we're down there at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and it's like you look. By the time they're done, it's lunchtime, and it's like people are walking around Broadway with their like little kids, like 8, 9, 10-year-old little kids, and I'm like, there's nothing for them to do downtown. So I don't know. Maybe that's something.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be some things on Second Avenue like laser tag and things like that. They got
Putt Shack now.
there's the
Okay.
Putt
There's a
Shack,
bunch of video game bars.
Pins
around
Mechanical
Nash.
is
Yeah.
downtown.
the terminal.
Game terminal.
Yeah, Game Terminal, Pins Mechanical, Putt Shack. That's some family
Uptown.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could take them to the Country Music Hall of Fame, right? If they're into that as a kid.
What would be your old school thing? Like what your old Nashville thing that you?
When I think of old school Nashville, other than Opryland, I think of some of the cool bars, clubs that we used to hit up as
Like
teenagers, late teens,
late
early
teens,
20s.
early 20s.
Right.
Everything used to be 18 and up. I don't know if it is now, but there was like at least an 18 and up night.
Yeah. Well, in our heyday of our late teens and 20s,
Yeah.
right, we can think back to Graham Central Station, Have a Nice Day Cafe, right
Yeah.
there on 2nd Avenue,
Bar Nashville.
Bar Nashville,
Which that was
Silverados.
Bar Nashville was like a chain, right? Wasn't there like it was Bar Nashville, Bar New like I think
Louis.
Bar No, I think that's a
That's
completely
different.
different thing.
Different chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was kind of like that, like it was a
Yeah. So when you think of the old Nashville, Matt, like you think of Broadway the way it is today, right? And how much it's grown out. Broadway was the old country western bars.
yeah, nobody went to Broadway.
Nobody went to Broadway. Everything in
Was
our
on
heyday
Second.
was on Second, right? So Second had all the cool clubs and bars.
And you could cruise down 2nd Avenue.
And you could cruise down Second, right?
Well, this part of the episode needs to be in sepia tone.
What's that?
And what?
Oh, yeah. I said, what's that? Like what? Oh, you're dating us, aren't you?
Black and white and
Yeah,
old
we're
school looking
dating.
video.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They got to date us.
But those are some of my fondest memories going down as a late teen, early 20.
We should have dressed in like late 90s garb today. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like cargo shorts, like down past your knees. And,
Purple and turquoise.
yeah,
or something.
I should have frosted
You're
my
a trapper keeper.
I should have frosted my tips just for this episode.
Oh, don't no. That was terrible attire back then.
Did you
man.
have both your ears pierced?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I got them
so you
pierced
should have-
after I graduated high school.
Yeah, you should have brought that back just for this episode.
Speaking of that, kids are piercing their ears and getting tattoos in high school now.
Oh, I've not seen as many. I've seen more tattoos than I've seen ear piercings, like male.
No, I saw 2 kids the other night that were 12, 13 that had their ears pierced.
Really?
Baseball player type kids.
Okay, well that's yeah. I think maybe I don't know. Yeah, I saw a lot of baseball, like high school baseball players this year that I was like,
Yeah.
that's an aggressive first tattoo, you know?
They're getting them now. But old Nashville to me are those. What I think about are those old those places like the Oprylands, the few clubs that everybody knew of.
Yeah.
And those were the hot spots.
Yeah.
And we only had a handful of them.
Oh, you forgot Denim and Diamonds.
Denim and Diamonds. Yes.
You forgot Denim and Diamonds, man.
Yeah.
That would have been in Madison.
Yeah.
That was another of the country bars.
So there were, and I would say in the 2000s, like 12th South, the Gulch started kicking up that area.
But maybe it did.
And there was a couple of cool clubs on 12th North and those areas in the mid 2000s that were hot. But past that point, Nashville blew up.
By the time mid 2000s came around, I had a kid born in 06 and a kid born in 08. So the club was...
You were done.
Yeah, there was no club happening.
But that's what I think about old Nashville, right? You had the Western bars on Broadway. You had the clubs on Second.
That nobody really went to. Like, did you know? Maybe it was because they were 21 and up. Maybe that was why we didn't go into... Like, we didn't ever go in there. Like, that wasn't like a thing to go to Tootsie's or any of that. Not really. Not when we were in...
No.
It
wasn't cool. Now it's cool.
Yeah.
Now those are the places to be.
Lonnie's would have been cool back in the day. I think Lonnie's is still going.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, and Lonnie's is still cool?
It is the first place you usually go and you realize, oh, there are much better places. You go there once and you're like, I'm done.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's original and you got to check it out. Because people have talked about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of the few like still standing. I don't know that I've not been there in a long time. So I don't want to say that it's unaffected by the change of Nashville, but it is one of the OGs. Like
it's very old and still 18 plus. So that's why.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think so old Nashville, that's our vision of old Nashville. New Nashville, I would say, started probably after the flood in 2010.
That's probably
in that time frame.
That's a good time frame to market.
Right. The flood happened in 2010. It flooded a lot of downtown. It flooded Opry Mills Mall. Mm-hmm. What we saw from the flood, right, is all this new money coming in, starting to buy up property near the water, right, redeveloping those. All the money came in after that point. Things started blowing up. The show Nashville came in after that point, right? We talked about that a little bit. The music scene just popped off. Right after that point, country music started blowing up more.
Yeah, just taking off and
the
taking
new
off.
Country vibe came in.
Yeah,
right. The new country music scene vibe.
Trap beat country
started coming in. Right. So since 2010, I think what's really changed is the music scene has changed. New money has come in. You saw the huge investment buy up of properties after the flood, and with that just came the new money. The new scene of Nashville, the new rooftop bar scene.
Yeah, rooftop bars. That's,
right.
That wasn't existent for the most, like it wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, I would say since 2010, there's probably 30 new rooftop bars on Broadway and in a 5-block radius of Broadway.
Right? I mean, are you even a bar if you don't have a rooftop bar in Nashville at this point?
Not on Broadway.
Not on Broadway.
I mean, you take your older bars, right? Like your... the ones that we mentioned there on Broadway, Tootsie's, Legends.
But they have rooftop now, right?
Yeah.
Robert's Western World.
Don't they all have?
They've all added rooftops. Yeah. So even to their point, you got 2, 3, 4 levels, including a rooftop bar.
Yeah.
You have to, right?
You have to. You got to compete
because Jason Aldean's across the street, right? And the red
old red and like Miranda Lambert's and
Lainey Wilson's bar.
Yeah, and
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi has
Kid
Snoop Dogg's getting a bar.
Yeah, they have a little speakeasy now.
Luke Combs now has the Wild Horse, or what was the Wild Horse is Luke Combs' bar.
Are they building that out, or that's his?
No,
now?
it's done.
Okay,
yeah, it's done. He acquired, or I guess his group or whatever acquired the Wild Horse from Marriott.
Yeah.
And now it's Luke's category 10, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yeah. They have line dancing and stuff, right?
There you go. But I don't know. I've not been in there, so I don't know. And
And they all came from the change of the bombing that happened 3-4 years ago on Second.
Yeah,
now some of these places are being redeveloped.
Yeah, I think so. I think Wild Horse was still going though. As the Wild Horse, it was a Marriott property, but as far as I know, it has been like this original kind of layout is still pretty similar. I've not been in there, and then Eric Church's bar where you can go and
shout out Eric Church.
Yeah, but you can't throw chairs off the top anymore.
No,
They put up a fence.
No, there's signs though.
oh,
There's signs that tells you not to do that.
I mean, that's a good idea.
and that happened at Eric Church's bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard they have a drink that's got a chair in it.
Yeah. I wonder did Eric Church think about going to Morgan's bar and doing the same thing?
No, I think that they are really good friends though. So I think that's why Morgan was there that night.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know. Morgan, if you want to comment, give us a shout.
Now Morgan's got a bar.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, if you're a who's who in Nashville in the music scene,
You got to put your name on a bar.
You're getting a bar.
Yeah.
So as a visitor to Nashville, you got like 15, 20 different bars out there now with country music names on it. How do you choose? Do you hit up all of them, or are you just going to your favorite, person's bar?
Matt, this is probably a good question for Matt. You got buddies.
My friend Brian should be on this episode because he loves Broadway.
Really?
He will spend all day. We'll drop him off in the morning
And
he'll
go get
bounce
him.
around, and I'll meet you up after work. And he's like, can we go do this one? Can we go to this one?
So if you and Erica have, two couples, right? Like some friends coming in town, is it one of those things where you have to go to Broadway one? They've never been to Nashville. Let's preface that. These
I think
four
it's
people,
worth the spectacle one time.
So where do you take them?
Well, I'm not like a clubber. Like I'm not going to be dancing or anything like that. So I'm going to be for a good drink or good dinner, good food. I've always liked Acme Feed and Seed.
Okay.
There's like 4 or 5 levels in there, and they have different restaurants at each level, different kinds of food. I think even one level has like sushi, and they have a rooftop. So that's a cool place. It's right on the river.
Right there on Broadway too, so you can still see Broadway if you're on the rooftop looking over.
Yeah, and it's across the street from the Nissan Stadium. So before that gets torn down.
Yeah.
And then, like Chad was saying, 5th and Broadway. It's a cool place. I like food halls. Lots of different places to eat, grab drinks, do some shopping.
And there's live music a lot of times at 5th and Broad too.
That is one of the additions to Broadway that I think is one of the cooler additions. Maybe that's the 40-year-old guy in me, but I think 5th and Broad is one of the that's a cool place.
Yeah, there was no place in Nashville to get quick serve food if you were downtown. You had to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
5th and Broad solved that problem.
Yeah.
Now they got 20 quick serve places to eat within, a 1 block radius.
It's like a really good mall food court.
It is. And there's shopping there too.
Yeah.
There's a Hattie B's.
Yeah.
Right? There's your traditional Nashville-based food places inside.
Yeah, it's got a really good local Nashville vibe, like inside the thing. There's a Princess Hot Chicken. There's a pharmacy in there.
There's got to be at least 30.
Yeah. So if I were coming in, I would at least. That's a good spot to take somebody.
One thing I like about Nashville is it promotes its own. Like our airport is not a bunch of chains.
Yeah,
it's
I do. That is cool.
It's all Nashville restaurants and
Nashville breweries.
bars, Nashville breweries. Yeah,
and that's something that they've changed and I think adopted to in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah,
because back when I traveled a lot, it
wasn't that.
It was all chain stuff.
Well,
like your Sabaros and
you know what though? I will say though, it still had Nashville type chains. You remember when O'Charlie's was?
Yeah, that's true.
It was in the airport for years.
Yeah,
I can remember an O'Charlie and that's a Nashville based chain. So maybe we have as a city done a pretty good job of trying to, like Matt said, promote its own. So
I almost feel like old Nashville when we were teenagers or 20s. They didn't put their stamp on everything Nashville and music theme based Nashville.
Maybe not.
Now today they're really letting the world know, no matter where they step into Nashville, hey, we are Music City, USA.
But you know, like, does it? Here's maybe a good or bad example. So there was a NASCAR race in quote unquote Nashville
Bristol.
this weekend. No. It's in Nashville. There's a super speedway on 840, off of 840, in Wilson County. Okay, and they call it Nashville Super Speedway.
Mm-hmm. Is that the Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, it was the Cracker Barrel. It was the Cracker Barrel 400, sponsored by a local brand, which to me is really cool that Cracker Barrel does that. Wilson County brand, nonetheless.
Even cooler is now who's the comedian doing their ads? The local.
Nate guy?
No.
Doing Cracker Barrel ads?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know.
I'm not prepared for this.
Think about it. No, that's okay. But like during. So it's something, to your point, it's something that you see a lot on sporting events. If there's a Titans game, you're going to get every commercial breakaway shot, especially if the game is a primetime game, is going to be a shot of Broadway. Mm-hmm. Every hockey game, if it means anything that's on TV, there's going to be some kind of shot of Broadway.
Wait, Cracker Barrel is from Tennessee?
Yeah.
Lebanon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Headquartered in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Cool.
Which that to me is even cooler, right? That the race did that. But one of the things about the race that like it's marketed as Nashville. I mean, do you see Lebanon as Nashville? No. You don't see Lebanon as Nashville.
I mean, it's a suburb of Nashville.
Yeah, that would
right?
be like saying Gallatin is Nashville.
I think we're getting there though on saying, I mean, as a local, when you say you're from the area, do you say I'm from Gallatin or Nashville?
That's a good point, because
You know what I
anybody that asks where, I would tell somebody, if I'm traveling and I'm, in Chicago and they ask where I'm from, I would say that I'm from a town, 30 minutes north of Nashville.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're a proud Gallatin guy. You want to make sure you say
I'm not
Gallatin,
from
right?
Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say I'm from the Nashville area, is what I say. So if I live in Lebanon, Gallatin, Franklin,
You're going to claim it.
I'm just going to say Nashville, right?
I'm from the 615.
I mean, Nashville as a whole maybe used to be more centralized, smaller, and you wouldn't claim that you were from Nashville if you grew up in Gallatin. But now Nashville is spread. It's reaching, right? And so if you're in a town outside of Nashville, you are still really Nashville.
You prefer new or old?
As a business person, I do prefer old Nashville because that's what I grew up in.
Yeah.
And it's of my younger years and the vibe that I had back then, right? And I don't get the same feeling of going downtown anymore as I used to.
Yeah.
Right? It's more of there's too many people around now.
Yeah.
Is the feeling that I get. But for Nashville as a whole, economic value wise, for its growth and development, I think it's great. I don't like the traffic, right? I don't like the traffic.
Yeah.
And you have to plan more to go downtown and what you're going to do now.
Yeah.
You have to realize it might take you an hour to get downtown. And you might have an issue finding a parking spot. You're not going to get free parking anymore like you used to be able to get.
No
way. And hell, are you going to be able to get free parking?
No, it's expensive to park in Nashville.
Yes.
It's expensive to get a drink, and it's expensive to park.
Downtown.
So back in the 2000s, before Nashville blew up, you used to be able to go downtown and get a drink for $3, $4, $5.
Yeah.
Or maybe even $1 beer nights.
Silverado's had free beer till 11.
Yeah.
You paid a $6 cover, and it was free beer until 11.
Now, $18 for a beer.
Yeah.
It's a different $20 for a beer.
Different vibe, right?
It's very different. But I prefer old Nashville for sure.
I would say this. Give me old Nashville, but I like all the new Nashville restaurants.
Yes. Old Nashville did not have good restaurants.
No, not for the most part.
Because tourism brings in better restaurants.
Yes.
Speaking of restaurants, we received notice recently that Nashville is going to get its first Michelin star restaurant.
That's exciting, I guess.
I mean, that means that good chefs, culinary folks are moving here, right? They see the value.
What does the
tourism
tire
dollars.
What does the tire company know about good food?
I know, right?
Well, do you know the story of the Michelin star?
I have no idea, Will. Please tell me.
Well, so
It's not associated with the tire company, is it?
it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, because back then they used to, tires travel, so they had travel guide and stuff. So they would rate restaurants as part of their brand and like travel stuff, and they would give a Michelin star to really good restaurants.
No kidding.
Yep.
Okay.
I thought it was like derived from like Jim Michelin or something. Not from I did not know that it was from the tire company.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Dusty Slay is the comedian I was referencing
Dusty
earlier.
Slay, I don't know
He's
him.
doing their
Cracker
Cracker
Barrel.
Barrel commercials
good.
now. Yeah.
Hey, if anybody from Cracker Barrel's listening, I saw on social media an atrocious looking. Have you seen it, Will? Okay, Will looked at me like I saw this too. There was I don't know, it's like video of inside of a Cracker Barrel that had redecorated, and it looked like a modern restaurant inside.
Oh, really?
Like it didn't have that lobby with all of the.
Yes. If anybody from Cracker Barrel, even if you're the busboy at Cracker Barrel and can deliver this message, stop this immediately. Like, America does not want that. America wants to go in Cracker Barrel and have Cracker Barrel vibes, but it looked like just a regular old drywall restaurant.
yeah, I think Cracker Barrel tried to put off the vibe that you're walking into something older, right?
Yeah, I need that.
Historic vibe, older
need that.
feeling.
You're like walking into Grandpa's barn or something.
yeah, like his
Yeah.
shack.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got all the old tools and
Yeah.
I
Don't
think you need
rebrand.
to keep that vibe.
Yeah, we need that vibe, Cracker Barrel. So
Yeah.
if you're listening.
And Cracker Barrel, they're local. We talked about it. Maybe they're trying to put their stamp on Nashville with the local comedian, and they should, right? Let everybody in the world know you're a Nashville-based company,
For sure.
and I mean,
Lean in.
that's what we're doing here. We're
Yeah.
leaning into Nashville as we should.
Yeah.
Nashville, top 3 tourist destinations in America. People love Nashville. Mm-hmm. So, let people know you're from here. One of the other things when we talk about old Nashville and even new Nashville that I think is reviving itself, but when you think of old Nashville, you think of Printer's Alley too,
Yeah.
right? And Printer's Alley it's got that small little back alley feel when you walk in, right? Almost that New Orleans feel,
It kind of does.
And you feel like you're not supposed to be
You
there.
kind of feel like maybe we're not supposed to.
yeah,
be
like
here.
you're watching
Not
over
in
your
a
shoulder.
dangerous way, but like,
But like you found a secret.
yeah. It's off the beaten path.
Yeah, if you're visiting Nashville for the first time, you got to check out Printer's Alley.
Yeah.
It's just it's a different vibe. It's almost like you're walking into New Orleans out of the blue, right?
Go eat at Skull's Rainbow Room.
Do it.
Yep.
Get there. This is my Skull's Rainbow Room hack.
Okay.
Get the last reservation. It might be like 9 or 10 o'clock.
So you can do the burlesque show.
But yeah, then you could just stay at your table. You don't have to fight for a spot, and you stay for the burlesque after the dinner.
Okay, there you go.
And do they do the burlesque show every night?
Yeah,
know?
it's like world famous. They fly people in from all over.
Okay.
It's quite the show.
And don't they do a piano bar there too before the burlesque show, I believe?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I think they have a piano bar there
Maybe.
too.
But I know
really-
it's like one of the last restaurants, like it's one of the standing Nashville restaurants that like, Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard, like all the old dudes, that's where they ate.
Yeah.
Like that was one of their spots.
It's almost got that old Vegas feel to it. That
Yeah.
old,
Like
old
Sinatra would be sitting there.
Sinatra type vibe.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. Which I like that vibe. The older I get, the more I like that vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool spot.
If you want a piano bar on my side of town in East, Sid's Gold Room is a really good piano bar, cocktail bar.
Okay.
They do karaoke there, but if you've ever been to any karaoke in Nashville and you want to feel bad about yourself, go to a karaoke bar.
Yeah, go to a karaoke.
Yeah.
We talked about that the other day, right?
Yeah.
Or yesterday at lunch, some people that we know were coming into town and went and did karaoke, but they were like, "Oh my God, these people sound so good."
Yeah, they were like, we wanted to sing, but we didn't because
Yeah.
everybody was good. And I was like, well, welcome to Nashville.
Yeah. Everybody can sing good.
You said
Down.
Sid, what was the name?
Sid's Gold Room.
Sid's Gold Room. I went to a different bar one time in Nashville, and it was it was Ken's, and it was a gold club.
Ken's Gold Club?
It was a gold club.
Okay.
It was I think it was a different vibe. I don't think they had a piano.
You have to put like a parental warning on this episode.
That's true.
That was one of that was one thing that Nashville had that it doesn't have. I don't think, I don't know. But it seemed like they're like in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were a lot of quote unquote gentlemen's clubs in Nashville. Don't you feel like there were?
Yes, I do.
There was a bunch, and I don't even know if there's one, but I felt like there was a lot of those in Nashville.
I think well, back then the real estate was cheaper,
Maybe that's what it was,
right?
yeah.
And now all the places have been gobbled up by these huge investment places building hotels or whatever else.
Maybe that's what it,
So
those guys probably made a whole lot of money selling their real estate.
yeah. I'm assuming there's still some of those downtown.
I don't know if you own one and you want to advertise, give us a holla.
Yeah. What I do think Nashville is missing, and I've thought about this from a business plan standpoint, is we think about all the bachelorette parties in Nashville. Why are there no female lady clubs like that?
So I don't know that there's I don't know if there's a one where you go and you watch nude women. And I don't know if there's one if you go and for you to go and watch nude men, but I have seen signs for the
Thunder Down Under.
The Thunder Down Under.
Those shows.
Is it like
think
a
about
one-off?
We're the bachelorette capital of America.
There should be a.
We have like any given night, there's 20 to 30 bachelorette parties at least.
So you should have a.
Not even counting the bachelor parties. There's probably a ton of those too. What I think Nashville should have is they should have a bachelor party spot here, bachelorette over here.
Cater to them. Just go all in.
Go all in. Yeah. And have it as a dual place, like one on this side, one on the other side kind of thing. Right?
I mean,
and that becomes a hangout spot, right? For the females and males too.
Maybe we buy
Think
an old
about
rundown warehouse in Madison, and
it could be in Madison.
it could easily be in Madison.
It could be in East Nashville. It could be in the
I think
Nation.
East Nashville might be over our budget for this
Probably.
for this business
Madison
venture.
Dickerson Road might be the spot for
Yeah.
it.
Dickerson Road used to be rough. I don't know if we want that. Those, yeah.
Not any. I don't know.
I don't
mean,
think
all
so
that
anymore.
area is getting built out now.
It was bad back in our heyday. Like you didn't go to Dickerson Road.
Yeah.
That's where people come to my house now and they're like, I would not have come to where you live 30
No,
years ago.
like off of Trinity Lane.
Yeah.
No. Haley and I were talking about it. This would have been like 2008. I had a work car breakdown right there at is it a Pilot or a Flying J or Love's? Right there.
Yeah, the Loves, yeah.
Okay, so like I had to fix a car to get myself home right there in like 2008, and I can remember thinking, just Jesus, take the wheel. Like let's get this thing fixed and get out of here before I get mugged. Like it was not the spot you wanted to be.
If you're coming to Nashville, you got to be prepared for the party buses as well, right?
Oh my goodness, pedal taverns, party buses, tractor pulling woo woo girls.
Yeah. So if you've never been to Nashville, if you're thinking about a visit and maybe this excites you, maybe it doesn't. They're on any given night, right? You're probably going to see 20 to 30 different party buses. Mm-hmm. Big buses getting pulled by tractors, pedal taverns, just buses in general that are playing music, that are serving. Maybe they serve alcohol too.
Oh, they're
They are serving alcohol.
They are.
They're either
I think
serving
all that
or
stuff is bring your own.
Is it bring your
Is it
own?
bring your
'cause
own?
They
Okay.
they're not getting a liquor license to drive a bus.
But all the bachelorette parties are doing this, right? They'll reserve a bus.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just cruise around Nashville, right, for an hour. They'll play music. They'll have basically a club on the bus
On wheels.
On
it's
wheels.
like the weirdest thing.
But that's the new thing.
Lots of tractors.
If you want something a little less, little less party, they do have the brewery tour buses that go around. There's one that's like a trolley, and it just runs all day, and it drops you off at a brewery, and you just wait for the next one to come by and pick you up.
I
and
didn't
take
know
you
they
to the
did
next
that.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I think for everybody's sake, we're going to kind of be all over the place a little bit on this one, but we're going to try to do more and more of these type of episodes where we talk about things to do in Nashville. But, the brewery scene in Nashville, I think, is one of the most under the radar things about Nashville that's actually really cool and really good here. I think Matt comes from one of the beer capitals of the world, right? And in Milwaukee. And I think Nashville rivals some of the best beer towns. I mean, it's not Asheville, North Carolina, and it's not, some of the West Coast stuff or Colorado, but it's a really, there's more to do than just Broadway, I guess is my point. And the beer scene's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Absolutely is. There's places outside of town that are really good too, like the place we went to Madison that time with the burgers.
Yazoo.
Yazoo.
I mean, Yazoo was downtown Nashville forever and kind of went to the outskirts. And man, if I were bringing somebody into Nashville, that would be a really good place to go have a burger and a beer.
Yeah.
East Nashville Brew Works now has a location in Lebanon.
Huge.
And I would urge people to there's a lot of really cool things to do. It's on the way to Center Hill Lake. It's on the way to, you could go see Fall Creek Falls and do all that stuff. And on your way back, stop at East Nashville and right off of 109 and grab some beers and a pizza there. That's a really cool spot.
Southern Grist.
Yeah. What, Matt?
Bottom.
What? Give me your Mount Rushmore of Nashville breweries. Like we always talk Mount Rushmore type stuff.
Yazoo Pale. That's like my go-to if I'm getting a beer.
Yeah.
I love their Yazoo Pale Ale. Homestyle by Bearded Iris.
Bearded Iris Homestyle.
That's probably one of the best IPAs that are out there.
That's great.
Southern Grist has a bunch of IPAs and sours. They do really cool collaborations with people.
And it's going back to your previous one, that's in Germantown.
Yep, Germantown.
And then the Yazoo's in Madison.
Yazoo's Madison. Southern Grist has 2 locations.
That's East
They
Nashville.
got a cool one in East that we went and ate at.
Yeah. Then I have a really good restaurant attached to them called Louder.
Damn good burger too, Southern Grist.
Yeah.
That was my favorite from Burger Week.
We'll go around. I want to try to make sure that we put some links. Like we could even just put
Yeah, I'll have
Instagrams.
to tag them in.
Yeah, so we can tag them in so people will be able to see it. But you got one more for your Rushmore.
I mean, Tailgate. Tailgate has they have so many different brews that you'll take anybody there and they'll find stuff to
Something that they like.
Good food too.
Yeah, good pizzas.
Yeah, and they got a bunch of locations now.
they're
Tailgate
all
does.
and they have like a really good work culture.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
pay all their employees health care costs. Like he really cares about his employees.
You got
Absolutely.
You got a Nashville Mount Rushmore.
With beer, I think of Yazoo and then Bearded Iris are probably my top 2.
You don't get 2 more that you want to shout out?
I don't. You're more of a beer guy.
Jason's
than I am.
been laying off the beer. He got gout like most old men do, and he had to.
I don't drink beer much anymore.
He had to put the beer down.
No.
So I still enjoy a beer. So I would say Little Harpeth. Like I don't know that I love the whole brewery as much as I love Chicken Scratch by Little Harpeth. That's especially this time of year.
That's one of my wife's go-to.
Yeah, like it's saying I'm a woman. It's a light, like a light Pilsner. If you're a Miller Lite fan, that's probably going to be one you're going to like. I love Tennessee Brew Works.
Hippies and Cowboys.
Hippies and Cowboys is so good. They've got a State Park Blonde that's really good.
They have a place in Hendersonville, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No, their place is downtown, and
Downtown,
they've got a great burger also. It was one that when we did Burger Week last year, I was kind of disappointed that they weren't on the list for Burger Week.
That's right.
Because their burger is as good as you go. I'm going to leave Yazoo off my list because both of y'all mentioned Yazoo. I would tell everybody that there's some good breweries outside of Nashville. There's a local guy out of Gallatin, Brad. If you're listening, I'm giving you a shout out. Creekbank Blonde from Briar Scratch is a really good summertime brew. He owns a local pizza spot in Gallatin as well. So grab a beer and a pizza from Brad, and then Half Batch out of Hendersonville.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's a good one, man. There's like so that just kind of helps, some of the other breweries that like we got some good stuff, outside of just the big folks. But I do agree with you, like the tailgate. That's another great spot to go get a pizza and a beer. If somebody's visiting Nashville, you want a decent pizza, and a beer. That's a good spot to go.
And shout out Crazy Gnome too. There's real small. They're a little younger, maybe 2-3 years operations in East, and they just moved to a new location. They have good beer too.
Yeah.
Crazy Gnome.
Crazy Gnome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Smith and Lentz also.
Yeah, Smith and Lentz.
I shouldn't have forgotten.
Black Abbey.
Yeah,
Like
I shouldn't have. There's so many. Like,
There's way more than I thought there was.
yeah, there's way more. Like, I think that we forget. Like, Nashville gets, we one of our topics is like 40-year-old date night and 20-year-old date night. This kind of maybe goes in like a friend group day. I can remember a long time ago. We did like a friend trip to Asheville and just like did brewery tours. We visited some breweries in Atlanta one time. I think you could easily do that in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Like, book a couple. Really, you don't have to go. You never have to set foot on Broadway, not one time. No. And you can go and grab a great dinner. It doesn't have to be a Michelin star restaurant, but you can go grab a great dinner, do some brewery tours. And plenty of stuff to do outside. So
that's a great idea for an all day thing as a couple or group. Couples.
Yeah, I love to mention like the other stuff, the not Broadway stuff.
Going back to Smith and Lentz, they have good beer, really good pizza, but they also make their own ice cream.
Really?
And for a place in the South, coming from the North, we had ice cream places.
Yeah,
everywhere.
you're a dairy guy.
I'm shocked at the lack of ice cream or like frozen yogurt.
There's one
I think
over.
I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the one over close to? Is it close to Lipscomb? Fries. They do fries and ice cream.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's really
That's
good.
That's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
Fries and ice cream.
We'll have to. I'll have to find that. I'm pretty sure it's like Fries or something like that. Haley and I went to it one time. We were, like kids were doing something downtown in between baseball games.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey.
That's a great idea.
It's like it would be in between Green Hills Mall and kind of Antioch. Like if you had to go from Green Hills to like toward Antioch, like somewhere in that area, Will's going to help me out.
Bellmead area maybe or something
Maybe.
like that.
I'm pretty sure it's Fries. But that place, that's a recommendation for Matt because I think it would be right in your wheelhouse of things to check
with
out.
Nashville's growth and tourism, I mean, the restaurant scene has just been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the new places popping up, the breweries, we talked about that. You could spend a whole weekend for sure in Nashville and have an unbelievable experience on
Fries.
Fries. Yeah.
Yep.
So mark that one down like as one to go check out. Really good. Like they mixed the topping and like it was good.
And do you know of any froyo? I love froyo.
Man, I can remember like, Haley and I were talking about that one day that, for whatever reason, let's call it the mid to late 2000s.
It was a boom.
It was gigantic.
Everywhere.
They were everywhere. And it was like, okay, it died. Like, I always liked it, but was their model wrong? Like weigh in the, put all your toppings and weigh in it. I don't know. But to answer your question, that's not a good answer. I don't know that there is a really good one that stands out versus the others that's not a chain.
I can't even think of a single place.
I mean, it felt like there was one on every corner there for, a few years. And then it was like when they died, they all went extinct together. I don't know.
Well, if the music scene's bringing you to Nashville, which it is for probably 80% of the people that visit here, I would say, what do we thinking the top places are to visit? I'm thinking, we mentioned Opryland. One of the reasons why people went to Opryland back in the day was Grand Ole Opry.
You got to go to that area. I think
right?
the Opry.
That's your, and the Ryman was the original Opry house, right?
Yeah.
But today the Ryman is holding modernized concerts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would say I've been to one show at the Ryman, and it was, probably not the one I would have picked, but it was with my daughter. So we had a blast. She was super young. It was a Kelsey Ballerini concert, and it was like, all girls of a, certain age group, but it was super cool to be able to go there I'm not the biggest live music guy, but if I could go see an artist like that I really like at the Ryman, that would be a venue that
it's worth going.
It's a fantastic venue, and you're right on the stage no matter where your seat's at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about the music that lives in the walls there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And if you're an artist, you want to play there. Every artist I've seen speaks about it before they start performing. Oh, so much history here.
They want to play there, and they want to play the Circle at the Opry.
Yep.
Like that's the two.
I'm from here, guys, but I have never been to the Opry.
I hadn't either.
I'm like, should I go to the Opry? I see videos of the Opry and I see the performances, and I'm like, man, the crowd is so still. Do they never get up and clap and cheer the people on?
Man, no,
it's supposed to be like that kind of, right?
Well,
they shoot it for TV too.
It's shot for TV,
so they have to break for commercials and things like that. So it kind of interrupts the flow of a show.
Let me take that back. I've never been to a concert at the Opry. I saw a comedy show. I saw Ron White do comedy at the Opry.
Excellent.
That's the only, and it was, I don't know if it was more funny or watching my father-in-law laugh at Ron White jokes was more funny. We had a blast, but I look back and this is like maybe you should probably do a better job of living in the moment and embracing things. And I know I need to do this, but a friend of mine, was a country music artist. He was pretty popular in the 90s and unbelievably great dude. And he passed away suddenly. But Daryl used to, I was still at Verizon in the time, during that time, and I would holler at Daryl, and he would get me tickets to go see people at the Opry and do all this stuff. And he would tell me, hey, you should come or whatever. And I never went. And I'm like, dang, man, maybe I should have went to the Opry. So maybe that's something that we need to do is find a show that we should just be like, hey, we went to the Opry.
I'm down for that for sure. So the Opry, the Ryman, Country Music Hall of Fame, right? I think if you're visiting and
Have you been?
I have been. Super cool.
Okay.
Yep.
I've not been. And that's one of those things that I've told people, I was like, maybe we should go do Nashville as a tourist. Maybe that's something that would be good for this podcast or good for us in general is to hey, let's go see it.
I think anybody that lives here should play tourist for the weekend, right? I mean,
at least
go get a hotel for a couple of nights, maybe.
Whoa. Maybe
off season.
Maybe that is one thing we talked earlier about. We talked about Nashville, parking and drinks being expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Holy hotel prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some of the most expensive hotels in America.
A grip on Nashville.
That is something that, maybe Nashville should apologize for.
And that's only in the last 10 years.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
5 years.
Haley and I have an anniversary in early June, which is typically, I'm going to throw it back to old Nashville. It's typically Fanfare Week, in early June for those that remember when it was called Fanfare and not CMA Fest. But as you can imagine, during that week, tickets are always unbelievable. I can remember, thinking, oh, that'll be a good anniversary. Maybe me and Haley should just do a staycation in Nashville and grab a hotel and a nice dinner. And you look and you pull hotel pricing, and you're like, shit, maybe we'll just stay in Gallatin. That. No thanks. I'm not paying $700 to spend the night in Nashville.
Yeah, $700 to stay the night, and then a $200 ticket for CMA at the Titan Stadium, right? Basically, is what you're looking at. Bluebird Cafe is another one when you think of Nashville.
The Bluebird,
if you're a music person, you're coming here for music, Bluebird. If you can get tickets there, see some songwriters at Songwriter Night.
Absolutely do.
Yep.
It's something you got to check out for sure.
And go have breakfast the next morning at Loveless.
At Loveless
Absolutely.
Cafe.
Go have biscuits at Loveless.
Yeah. Loveless is a must.
Yeah.
What about neighborhoods? You think of Nashville, right? And, we got some really good neighborhoods.
Yeah, like north of Gallatin.
Well, you think of Nashville, you think of, East Nashville, the Nations, the Gulch, Germantown, right? All great neighborhoods. If you're staying in Nashville and just want to check out some neighborhoods, those are the ones that I would, mention to check out, right? If you're going to stay in Nashville and you want to stay in one of those neighborhoods, what neighborhood would you recommend to stay in? I would say probably like Germantown or East Nashville.
Yeah, there's Germantown or East Nashville.
It's close enough to downtown still.
Yeah.
Right?
Germantown, you could literally walk to downtown.
Yeah, and it's close to First Horizon Park.
Yep.
A lot of good restaurants over there.
Yep. Go see a Sounds game while you're here.
Mm-hmm. And then East Nashville's got its own little vibe that we talked about the show Nashville. It kind of...
It's almost self-contained.
Has it transitioned from the hipster vibe though? Because like that used.
It hasn't. I don't think so.
It's everything though.
Okay.
It's
because I know for a long time, like it segregated itself as like where the hipsters were.
East
Or the
Nashville is
songwriters.
like 5 times the size of downtown.
Right.
So to compare East Nashville to other parts is hard because you have the rich area of East Nashville and you have a very poor area, then you have the hipster area, and you have the hippie area. Like, that's what's so great. It's so eclectic over there, and that brings different music and different food and different comedy.
And I think Wedgwood, Houston, WeHo area, that's been revitalized, right? That's a new hipster area by Nashville SC Stadium.
Fayette La Force, add that brewery to your list.
It is good. You and I went there.
Good spot and good view of the city.
Yeah. That is a good spot.
Grab a drink before you go see an NSC game.
Yeah. And then in addition to that, you got your suburbs, right? Maybe you're thinking of staying in Franklin or Brentwood.
And if you like the lake,
Mount Juliet.
You're north.
Mount Juliet or Gallatin or Hendersonville.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how many people are staying west of Nashville. Maybe they are in
think,
Charlotte area, Dixon.
Yeah, I don't know that they're staying there for a weekend trip. Yeah, but I would say that they're wanting to live there.
Yeah,
there's still some larger real estate tracts out there that it's pretty popular for a lot of the folks in the music business to, build a homestead in Pegram or some of those spots. I think that's probably one of the prettier places in Middle Tennessee is that, that area.
If you want to stay where the money's at, you're staying in Franklin,
Brentwood, 12 South.
12 South, right?
Jason Hendersonville's going to be jealous if you don't mention them in this.
Hendersonville by the lake's got some money, but it's nowhere near
there's one of those,
Bellmead,
there's
Green
somebody
Hills.
There's somebody on the lake in the peninsula or something with their pinky out drinking a macchiato right now. That's sad that you're not including them.
That's a very small part of Hendersonville, I would say, right? But they're there for sure.
Taylor Swift part
they'll
of
let you know it too.
But that's nowhere near Green Hills, Bellmead, that kind of money of Nashville. Brentwood.
No, they got wannabe money.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's wannabe money.
Y'all hear that, Hendersonville?
But if you want to be to yourself and be quiet and just soak it in, and you don't want people to know you got money, Hendersonville could be that spot too.
Could be Westmoreland.
Could be Westmoreland.
Moreland.
Yeah, could be all those areas of Sumner County. Hartsville. Yeah.
There's no I.
Even Clarksville.
Vull. There's no I.
But to that point, there's a lot of money in and around Nashville.
For sure.
Whether people show you they got money or not, that's another thing.
That's right.
Right? Sports.
Yeah.
If you're coming into Nashville for a weekend and you want to check out, you're a sports guy and you're like, hey, well, let's do Broadway, but let's also check out a game.
Do you think sports when you think Nashville?
I don't know. I think you're planning. If you're a fan of, say, NFL team, the Bears or the Steelers or whomever, and you're planning that one getaway weekend trip, away game, you got Nashville on your list just because of Nashville.
Yeah.
And your team will likely win that weekend too.
That's kind of what I was wanting to get out of you.
Right.
Is I think right now, unfortunately, like the Titans had a really good run within the recent past.
Yeah,
right?
like the last 4 years.
Yeah, they had a really, really good run. They had some really good teams. I still miss Vrabel. I hope that that Coach Callahan can get it in the right direction. But you're so right. Even during that tenure, even when the Titans were winning those games, it seemed to be pretty, you let the Packers come to town and there's going to be a very heavy Packer contingency in the game. Yeah. You let Pittsburgh come to town, Steelers come to town, guess what? They're going to show up.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, maybe as much as you don't want it to happen, as a Titans fan, it happens a lot. The
Pred struggled this last year.
Yeah.
NSC is currently in the top 5 MLS, so
number 4 position right now.
We're doing all right.
Yeah. Check out a Nashville SC game because they usually play on the weekend, Saturday. Man, hit up a Sounds game. The Sounds ballpark there in Germantown is fantastic.
Great ballpark.
Yeah.
They have all the new restaurants and bars around. Shout out Jonathan's, they're local. Right,
Tailgate right there.
Tailgate's right there.
I would I would urge anybody that's even kind of a halfway baseball fan that if you're coming in for a long weekend and maybe starting on a Thursday, like you get in town on a Thursday, and if the Sounds are in town, they do like a throwback Thursday kind of vibe.
I think there's fireworks every Friday.
Like
Thirsty Thursdays is what
they
used to call
they
it,
do
right?
like cheaper beers. They wear like an older Nashville Sounds uniform. Like that is a really good place to kind of get. I'm not saying they have to stay for all 9 innings, but it's a good place to go to get like your feet wet in Nashville and not have to be on Broadway.
Me and Stephanie went to a game Tuesday night. We took 3 boys, my son and 2 of his friends. They had a great time. They did the wiffle ball. They did the cornhole, the ping pong.
Yeah, there's putt-putt there.
Putt-putt. They had
the bar in right field's really cool.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people.
They have one in left field now too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not seeing that. I know, like
that.
It's got like this kind of the vibe that you don't even have to be at the baseball game.
That might be where you bring your kids.
Yeah, that would be a real. I would tell people that
Tuesdays is dog night, by the way.
Okay.
They had dog night.
Take
you
your
can
dog.
bring your pup. They had, bowls and everything out in center field for them. Little pools to cool them off, all that kind of stuff. Every night is a different theme night to that point, right?
Okay.
So find out what theme night it is. Tuesday nights, they did the Brewskis jersey.
We got to get one of those.
I gotta get one of those.
We're going to start a GoFundMe for Matt to get him one. Matt is a Brewers fan. The Titans the Sounds are
They're their AAA
a
team.
AAA affiliate of the Brewers.
Yeah.
They have this really cool Brewskis jersey that I want Matt to have one. Matt is too tight to buy one. So I'm going to take up a fund.
Yeah.
Get Matt the jersey.
Get Matt the jersey.
We'll put my Venmo link in this description.
We got to put the picture of Matt with a sad face. Like, the crying Jordan, like the crying Michael Jordan meme. We need that of Matt so that we can get him this jersey.
The Brewskis, Nashville Sounds Brewski jersey.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'll have a picture of him happy when he's wearing it.
Speaking of that, so Nashville's doing all these different themes now. Did you know they got a hot chicken jersey too?
No.
Really?
I saw this on Tuesday. It looks really weird. It's 2 like hot chicken patties on buns as their hat theme.
Okay.
But it's the hot chicken.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's they've got a new hot chicken night. They're doing it.
It's like the Montgomery biscuits. They're
doing it in July. Hot chicken week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're doing the whole hot chicken jersey hat vibe that week.
We talked about that last year, doing Hot Chicken
Yeah.
Week.
Yeah, we should.
Do you know if a restaurant is now the hot chicken at the stadium, or if it's just like the Sounds are doing their own hot? I know for a long time it was Pepper Fire was the hot chicken of the Sounds, and that's a kind of a cool thing too, right? If you want to go to Nashville and have the hot chicken, maybe the Sounds game is one of the
Nashville
places.
is known for hot chicken, right? Prince's, Hattie B's. Those are your originals.
Bolton's.
There's all kinds.
Bolton's and Prince's. That's your two. Party Foul's probably one of my favorite.
But if you're coming to Nashville and you haven't had hot chicken before and you don't do hot, don't go past medium.
Yeah, if you go to Party Foul and can ingest Poltergeist and not shit your pants, you should get an award.
Yeah. Do it on maybe the last day you're in Nashville. Don't go for the hot chicken night one.
It does seem like a weird thing that we have that at the airport. Like, who wants to eat hot chicken and get on a plane?
Not this guy.
That seems like
No, not this guy. Well, I don't know if maybe it won't hurt me, but if you're sitting in my vicinity, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
Long term, it's probably not a good business decision.
But yeah, come to Nashville for a Titans game. Preds games are awesome. The Sounds games are great. You got Vanderbilt if you want to check out, a Vanderbilt baseball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even win their regional as a number 1 seed.
Right. But
I don't know.
But you can
Stop laughing.
You can check out a nice venue. They just redid. They added on to the baseball. They're redoing the football stadium right now. I think it's going to look great. So check that out. We don't think about Nashville from an art scene at all. But
I can't endorse any of the Vanderbilt stuff.
That's
Sorry.
fine. You got Cheekwood. You got Hermitage. You got Frist.
Yeah.
Right? Nashville's got a little bit of an art scene too, right? So there's some things to do there with your family.
I want to plug, has anybody been to the Museum of African American Music?
No.
It's really cool.
National
Actually,
Museum
so
of
cool.
African American.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
cool. There's so much like other activities to do. Like, it's a great place, especially for like kids and stuff.
Okay, there we go.
But adults too, to like, record your own music stuff. There's lots of Michael Jackson stuff.
cool.
It's actually a really, really cool museum. Definitely one of my favorite ones.
So that's
ever.
a family thing. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I didn't know about that. I'll have to check it out. Centennial Park. If you want a park downtown, an actual place to go. That's a park in the city.
Yeah.
Centennial Park's great for that.
yeah, they have the Parthenon there.
Check out the
Radnor,
park.
Radnor Lake's close to downtown. Like, there's a lot of that.
That's a
would be
great
one-
nature trail.
It's hard to park there though.
Is it hard to park there? I don't know. It's been a long time.
It's like all street parking.
Radnor. Then what's the other one?
Percy Warner.
Percy Warner.
Percy Warner is a great
Yeah.
place. Go see a pick and party show.
Hey,
those are super fun.
Another one, that I don't necessarily love the part of town that it's in, but there's a golf course. Like Shelby Park now has come a long way.
Shelby Park's great.
Shelby Park has come a long way. It could still use. It's one of the oldest like baseball fields around. Like that. There's a couple baseball fields there. Baylor played there this past high school season. That would, if anybody in Nashville's listening and wants to invest some money into something, that park could use some help on the baseball front. But I know I think the golf course there is really nice.
Shelby, yeah. And they have the Greenway.
Yeah.
Yeah, miles of Greenway up and down the Cumberland
Greenway's
River.
great. Yeah.
I don't think any of us are golfers, but Nashville can also be a pretty good golf destination for folks. There's some public. I mean, the Hermitage is a public course. And
Hermitage, Gaylord,
yeah,
the Gaylord Links.
yeah. There's a lot of that to do too. So
Hey, did y'all know that Post Malone is opening up a new spot on Broadway?
yeah, him and Snoop.
Well, Snoop's is already open.
Snoop's is
and
open?
Dre is open. But Post is, since he's in the country thing now, he's getting his own spot.
He said he already has a
That's new
whole
news.
nother country album done.
That's so weird to me.
Yeah. Shout out CMA Fest, right? That's this week.
Yeah.
Starting today
Yeah. This week
Thursday
is in June.
through
June the 5th.
8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5th through the 8th. So, anyways, that concludes our show today. Weekend in Nashville.
Yeah.
So much to do in Nashville. I discovered a little bit more about Nashville in this episode than maybe what I thought. I think I'm ready to plan another date night with the wife and check out something new, right? If you're coming with your buds, to Chad's point, maybe do some of the breweries.
Yeah. Breweries, baseball game, hockey game. Like, I don't think it's super expensive to find a game ticket in Nashville.
No.
I would ask people we're going to try to do a few of these. We want this to be a little bit interactive and give us some things to talk about and what you'd like to know more about in Nashville or see us investigate.
Yeah, we'll have to do a restaurant-specific episode.
Yeah, I think we want to do some restaurant stuff. So any recommendations on things people should check out, let us know.
Thanks for tuning in to the NexGen Podcast, all things Nashville. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right.